I'm not joking. I'm being dead serious with this video. MCU Captain Marvel would be is absolutely stronger than most Viltrumites. She absolutely would be a top tier in the Invincible universe. And honestly, I think she's stronger than just about any Viltrumite. Well, she could beat just about any Viltrumite, with the exception being EOS or end of series Thrag. And like, well, okay, final boss Thrag and end of series Mark Grayson. But even then, that's I still kind of got her for it. Okay, the Viltrumites are, you might say, no, man. Viltrumites are absolutely too busted. They are strong, but they're not invincible. No pun intended. It's not really a pun. You get it. But they're massively faster than light. They're strong enough to move continents, like islands to continents on the mid tier, maybe even a planet or multi continents on for as a high tier. We saw that when Conquest was fighting with Mark, one shockwave from his attack was able to actually decimate an entire city. Conquest is one of the more powerful Viltrumites. When Omni Man and Mark was fighting, Omni Man's blows on Mark were causing earthquakes. So, and again, and Viltrumites range in terms of strength and speed, but they've all pretty much, they're all faster than light. They're all, pretty durable, pretty strong. And with all this, you might be saying, how is it possible for Captain Marvel to be uh, greater than most, if not all, his Viltrumites? Well, simple. Captain Marvel is arguably faster. Why? Because she travels around the MCU universe with no spacesuit, just flying throughout. The Viltrumites, when Nolan left Earth and he went to the Bug Planet, or he didn't. He went to some cluster, some like galaxy cluster far away. It took him a couple days to do that. Captain Marvel is seen blitzing around the universe, going to different planets. So, and we're never really given time to how long we're never really given a time frame to how long she's flying through space and all that, but I mean, it can't be no more. Well, actually, no. She was able to find Tony. She was in space for 7 days looking for Tony, I believe. But Tony was like orbit, well, like somewhere around Planos' Thanos' home planet. So I mean, that's like trillions of miles from like trillions and trillions of miles away from, I believe, the Milky Way galaxy. I don't believe Thanos' planet was in the same galaxy as ours. Oh, excuse me, my throat dry. So just like we have no real way of knowing like how far and how fast she flies through space, but she's obviously like super fast. You might be tempted to say, no. That's just her travel speed. Let me tell you something. This whole travel speed and reaction speed, that's just cold. That's just stupid. All these power scalers, they just make it up to downplay certain things. If she can move that fast, she can react that fast. How is it possible for her to fly through space? Again, through the vastness of space where it's virtually, like it's really, really dark, virtually impossible to see. She's able to spot Tony in some small little ship amongst all these massive planets. We see her fly down and over the course of a few seconds, scout out the entire planet that Thanos is on, and then come back. If she can fly and move that fast, she can react. She can, react that fast. You say, like, because like otherwise she'd be ramming and bumping into stuff like the way I I, I don't get where this comes from. but it's really stupid. Imagine there are some cars that can go 175 miles an hour. You say, well, okay, that's proof because humans can't move that fast, but um, we can see and we can see and kind of react and perceive that. Yes, you can perceive a car going 200 miles an hour. You can react and perceive it, but that doesn't mean you can move that fast. What am I getting at? Captain Marvel, if she can, so put it like this: you can perceive a car moving at around 200 miles an hour, but you can't move anywhere near 200 miles an hour. If Captain Marvel can move at massive, faster than light speeds, what do you think her reaction time would be? Captain Marvel definitely can stack up to the Viltrumites in terms of speed. I think she's the fastest of them all. She's faster than any Viltrumite. Now let's go to her strength and her durability. Captain Marvel was so strong and she was so durable. We saw her lift skyscraper like missiles as they were shot from Earth. Not only was she holding the weight of the actual missile, but she was actually battling its momentum as well as it was shot from as it was, it was shot from like the cannon of the ship or whatever, the gun of the ship. So she was battling its propulsion force as well. So that we can like double the size of that. Captain Marvel has been stated to be able to punch through entire planets, and we saw that in What If. She was actually giving Thor quite a beating, and it was stated she was holding back. And the What If universe is actually canon. It's just the animated version of Marvel where they can do more because they're not constrained by budget and logistics and all that type of stuff. Captain Marvel has been stated to be able to punch a hole through a planet, punch a hole through a planet. And we see this when she battles against Infinity Ultron, and she was able to blitz him to the center of the universe. This is Ultron empowered by the six Infinity Stones, by the way. She blitzed him to the center of the universe, and she began to crack vibranium. The column of vibranium that was able to survive a portion of a city blast without being scratched at all. I mean, that alone gives her above planetary levels of strength, right? That alone gives her above planetary levels of strength. Her durability is insane as well. She was able to survive an explosion that ripped a hole into space time. Not even going to try to quantify that because first I'm not smart enough to, and that's like come on, that's top tier, if not above Viltrumite level stuff right there. But here's where Captain Marvel absolutely takes the cake: her energy blast. She has an ability that pretty much grants her that's pretty much a direct counter to Viltrumites. Heat. Captain Marvel was able to use her powers to reignite the core of a dying star. Using like her immense firepower, she would wear down their regeneration. Plus, when you add in her strength, speed, and durability, Captain Marvel, if you want to lowball her, at the very minimum in the Invincible universe, and this is just you just being like, no, I'm not, no, 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 none of that. Okay, at the bare minimum, she's as strong as beginning of series Omni Man and Mark and Invincible put together, right? Probably even stronger than, probably as strong as Mark, no, as Omni Man and Conquest. But yeah, I'm not gonna get too far into that. But at the absolute like on the absolute like top end, I believe she is as strong as Omni Man, Conquest, and Anissa. MCU Captain Marvel would absolutely dominate in the Invincible universe. This is Hero 13. Hope you guys enjoyed. Oh, and one more thing. It should be noted that we saw that it took Thaddeus, Omni Man, and Mark. This is a Mark that's significantly more powerful to punch through Viltrum. Captain Marvel could punch through planets on her own. Her sun feet alone proves that. So yeah, she's definitely multi Viltrumite level. This is Hero 13. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you all next time. Bye.